Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to Mathis-Na. Just a short little clip regarding the status quo with Iran and all the atrocities that's happening at the moment. To be honest, I'm not familiar with. I'm not fully read up or knowledgeable in that area. Bukhari, you know a little bit more.
Maybe a little bit, yeah, little bit. But I think it's important that we do talk about it because it's a very significant thing that's happened. Mm-hmm. You know, where you've got these two countries, essentially America and Israel, who have decided to bomb another country for no reason whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And this kind of, the thing is, we see it's getting more and more common where particularly countries like America and Israel will go off and bomb other countries and no one really bats an eyelid.
Yeah.
And that's a very dangerous situation to be in, because if we don't actually recognize how bad something like this is, then we just accept it.
When you say nobody bats an eyelid, do you mean mainstream media or do you mean the general consensus?
Just generally, because think about it, right? If we accept as the world, you know, as a community in the world, if we accept that it's okay just to go and bomb another country, kill citizens of another country, like they bombed the girls' school, yeah, over 100 little girls.
That's crazy.
Yeah, killed, right? If we say as a world community that one country can do that to another country, then it's a very dangerous thing, isn't it? Yeah. Right? Like we can't accept that as something that is, you know, normal,
standard,
right? Yeah, as normal. So this is why I think that we should talk about it. Like, you know, like some people think that, it's politics. I don't really talk about politics. And that's fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, of course.
But this goes beyond politics. You know, it's really important that we, with whatever means we have, we say, look, this isn't right. This isn't normal. You know, whether or not that's you just saying it yourself or posting a comment or going on a march, or if you've got the ability to actually do something like, you know, write to your MP or influence our government in some way, then we should do that, isn't it? Like, if whatever action that we can take, we should do that, because the UK isn't isn't a bystander in this.
No.
You know that, because although it's America that's doing the bombing, where are they flying from? Where are they flying those planes from? They're flying from bases that the UK has in that part of the world, right? So there's a place called Diego Garcia, which is like an island in the Indian Ocean, right? And the Americans are using that to have their planes, refuel their planes, arm their planes.
UK island, is it?
Yeah, UK owns.
Right, okay.
The thing is, the UK, you know, back in the days where UK did colonizing, isn't it, right? They colonized this island back in the days, isn't it, right? All the people, they moved and they forcibly moved and said, right, we're turning this into a military base, right?
Okay.
So, like, it's not like, this is our taxpayers' money. Like, I pay tax, you pay tax, right? They're not doing this, you know, with magic money. It's our money that's going to it, right? So we've got our planes, our bases that in the Middle East that are doing these things.
We are complicit.
Of course, man. Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Right. Yeah.
Here's one thing I noticed as well. Yeah, I'd like to mention. Like, a lot of people, which, don't get me wrong, it's okay, but boycotting. If you feel like that, you should. But I've never heard people say boycott UK. Especially people that live here.
Yeah.
Because they provided Israel with backup, basically.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's very difficult, isn't it? In the sense that
it's not. I don't think so.
No,
I think it's very simple.
How do you boycott the UK though? Do you know what I mean?
No,
like
you know how you said exactly. Okay, it might not be boycott in the sense of financial boycott. It could be just speaking up and making it clear, just like you said.
100%. Yeah. The thing is, like, you know, with the boycott, there's so many organizations, businesses, etc., that you can boycott. But I think it's important that you target your boycott, you target your efforts, isn't it? Right? It's like in this country, say for example, Barclays is a big and is a major bank, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
So in terms of Israel, there, you know, if you look at the boycott list, you know, Barclays is one of those organizations that you can boycott, and
you can find links directly.
Yeah, and through that boycott, you're just sending a message, isn't it? That look, you can't maintain these policies for free. There's a cost. It's not a big cost. Like if I start banking with Barclays, it's not going to be a huge. Like, they're not going to care, is it? They're not going to. It's a little cost, isn't it? Right? Yeah. And that's the point, isn't it? Whatever little that you can
Whatever little you can do. That's actually what I spoke to with some of my friends, because I feel like sometimes we're a bit too passive. Or, well, what can we do? Or, well, just work on yourself and stuff like that. And I think, look, like you said, you began the talk by saying 165 girls, they got buried, basically. They got killed.
Yeah.
They got killed. They're not died, they got killed.
Yeah.
So that's a huge thing. They're innocent.
Yeah.
Whether it's Muslim or non-Muslim, children are innocent. So why are we not even saying anything? And then, look, the Epstein files and all of this, sometimes, we should talk about that as well, because children are involved again. So if we're not speaking about that, then like Naz said as well, Prince said, we're kind of complicit in that.
Another interesting thing is that these things that happen in foreign countries, right? And they have an impact on what happens in the home country, right?
Yeah.
So take the example of America, right? So in America, you're seeing Donald Trump and harassing people of color, isn't it? Like brown people. And what they're doing is they're trying to scare them, and they're finding out illegal immigrants and they're getting rid of them, right? They're going door to door, people's houses, and they're threatening them, right? Intimidating them. But when you see the equipment and the tactics that these people are using, right? Where does that come from? Like a lot of the police forces in America have got military equipment. They've got tanks. They've got all these military gear, tactical helicopters, and all of that stuff. Where does that come from? It comes from the surplus that the American military has, right? So you've built a factory that's producing tanks and whatnot. The war has ended, right? You still want to make tanks, innit? So instead of selling it to the army, you're going to sell it to the police. Yeah, the kinds of tactics that they learn over in Iraq and Afghanistan and in these foreign countries, they've learned it, they've mastered it. How do you subdue somebody? How do you, like, there was a raid, right, in Chicago, I think it was, right, where they did a proper full SWAT style raid, where they landed a helicopter on the roof, and then they, abseiled down, and they did all of that just to harass brown people, man. Yeah. But where did they learn all of these techniques from? It's because they practiced it in war, right? So this is the thing that the things that they're doing, the things that they're doing in foreign countries, it will come back to this country. If you devalue life in everywhere else, you're going to devalue life here as well, isn't it? Right? I don't think, like my view anyway, is that I don't think the Americans would have voted for Donald Trump, right, if the Americans weren't sponsoring a genocide in Gaza, right? And I'll tell you why that is. It's not because all the Muslims said, oh, we're not going to vote for Kamala Harris, right, because of Gaza. No, it's not that. The reason why Gaza influenced the American election is this. Everybody knows that Donald Trump doesn't believe in the law, right? The guy tried to start a bloody insurrection in America, Everyone knows that he's a bad guy, isn't he, right? But in the period where the election was taking place, repeatedly their government said to them, rules don't matter. You know what? We're going to go and support Israel. They're going to go and kill children. They're going to bomb hospitals. Everybody knows it's wrong, but their government kept telling them, you know what? It don't matter. Rules don't matter. So then when it came to voting, who are they going to vote for? Are they going to vote for the guy that believes in rules, or Kamala Harris, isn't it, right? Or the guy that's saying, you know what, screw the rules, right? I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to make your life better, isn't it, right? They're going to vote for the guy in it that doesn't believe in any rules, because they've been conditioned to think that actually
this guy
there's no rules.
Impossible possible.
But like, it's not important. This type of living a life, or creating a society where we have the rule of law, right? That's not important. So this is the reason why Donald Trump, this is my view anyway, this is the reason why you've got Donald Trump in power, because their government has told them, look, the rules don't matter. Being a good person don't matter.
Going back to what you said about, if we don't say anything and if we don't stand up for what we kind of believe, it's going to come to the UK in a sense. I just want to mention here, reform, if they said, if they win, they're going to bring in, ICE style agencies and stuff like that.
But check this out. Keir Starmer, in response to the bombing of Iran, Keir Starmer was very careful in saying, oh, you know what, the UK will help, right? But we're only going to help in a defensive capacity, right? So he's very, very clear about that, right? And the reason why he was very clear and took a lot of effort to make that position is because they have seen what Muslims are doing to the Labour Party at the elections in Denton recently.
The reform. The guy from GB News, wasn't it?
Yeah, the guy from GB News lost. It was a Labour Party stronghold. But they lost. There's a lot of Muslims in that. Green Party one. There's a lot of Muslims in that constituency, right? They see a lot of Muslims now are moving away from the Labour Party, and they're looking at other parties, Green Party. Our brother Salek here is a Reform Party and supporter.
So Labour, so Keir Starmer's deliberately
he's very
using
careful.
semantics.
Exactly. Donald Trump said he was very disappointed with the Keir Starmer.
With Keir Starmer, he's considering what he's saying, and Donald Trump is the complete opposite. He's deliberately antagonising in terms of what he's saying.
But Donald Trump does what he does, man. That guy's probably got dementia or something, right? My point is that, look, the little action that we do in this country does have some impact. So Donald Trump said, I was very disappointed in Britain, in Keir Starmer, because they took so long to agree for the Americans to use their bases like Diego Garcia. And the reason why Keir Starmer and the British government took so long is because they wanted to be very careful about how they appear in support. Of course, they're going to support the Americans. They've got no choice here. Of course, they're going to support them. They wanted to be very careful about how it looked.
Diluted way,
how it looked. Exactly. So, I mean, in some ways, it is like, we do have some part to play in terms of shaping our countries and foreign policies.
So maybe it's even worse then, because we're following the narrative in a very sly way. We're not doing it as in Keir Starmer. He's not being.
But that's the British way.
I was just gonna say that's how they took over the world, in a sly way.
Of course, the difference is this, like between Britain and America is America, like international law, right? It's not real. It's like we used to have, is it credits or team points? Can you remember? Here's one credit for you. Here's one team point for you. It's like it's a fiction. It's not. There's no reality to it, right? But the difference is with America, they'll just do it. They'll do whatever the hell they want. Right?
It's an arbitrary state.
They'll just will do. No one really cares. This is under Donald Trump, right?
I think my 2 pennies worth. I got a lot to say about this as well, but I don't know. I mean, we need to do a full show on this as well. I think if we really go back, guys, and we're going to bring it down to the point where, this whole idea of morality. Do you know what I mean? That if we really think about it, 44 years old, and about 30 of them, there's been a war in some part of the world every single day. It's got to the point now where before governments used to kind of give you a particular story as to why this has happened, as in war. But then as we've grown up, we found out maybe there was another agenda. Now it seems like they don't give a shit. They'll just do what they want to do because they know there's not enough mobile people within any community who's going to really stand up and hold the government accountable for the crap that they're doing around the world. So for example, right now, we've seen what's been happening in Palestine. It's okay to go and do that in places like Yemen and other Middle Eastern countries. To the point now where they're going into Iran. Supposedly it was a preemptive strike or blah, 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 all of that. But people just think it's okay to throw about thousands of bombs, kill thousands of people, and then in the end, no one's actually going to really go and ask you a question, who do you think you are? Whether it's the UK, whether it's America, whether it's Israel, whether it's bloody Bahrain, whether it's Yemen, no one is actually holding anybody to account. Now, here's the thing, if we don't teach our children about justice and injustice, this will happen time and time again. The only time somebody will really stand up and make something happen is if they really believed in justice and injustice and why is this happening to certain groups of people. Are you telling me war is the only way to sort out a major difference? Of course it's not. Yes, we do understand that on certain occasions war does happen, but then the reasoning is that 90% of the country believe that, look, we had no other choice but to either defend ourselves or attack somebody. Most of the time, when somebody is seen as honorable in war is when they defended themselves.
Exactly.
But anybody who went on the offensive because they wanted to preemptively strike somebody because they may cause me a danger, that's not a war. That's just you going into somebody and kind of behind somebody's back, just fucking trying to shoot them, kill them, maim them.
You're flexing your muscles up.
You know what I mean? So, this conversation, I know it's a deeper rooted conversation and we have brought it up in the way that we have. But I think one day what we'll do a real episode on these wars that are going on around the world, and why is it that people around the world, when they want to stand up for justice, nobody wants to listen to them. But if someone's gun-ho, if somebody's saying, yeah, we should go and do this, and we go on LBC radio, and listen to the interviews that are being conducted by, people like Nick Ferrari. They go in with the angle that Iran would have done this and it. No, hold on a second. Go in with the angle. Who went and threw the first bomb? And why did they throw it? And were they right to do it? Okay, so check this out. When we say that UK might be complicit in what's going on right now, if they may be complicit, but then the background behind it is, if this was preempted and there was no imminent threat, then is this an illegal war that you've gone to? Because
the thing is, of course, it's an illegal war, right?
Yeah.
The consensus is that there is no imminent threat, right? It's all rubbish, But the thing is,
and it seems to come out of nowhere. Like
no, it's been building. The reason why it's been building is because the only country in the Middle East that will oppose Israel and that has got any kind of infrastructure left is Iran. Right? All the other countries are opposed to Israel. And Israel exists in order to ensure Western control of the Middle East remains. So it's like Israel has been asking to invade Iran for years and years and years.
Since 2002, since the war on terror started.
Yeah, exactly. So it's they're lucky in the sense that they found somebody who is silly enough to go along with the thing.
The master plan.
Well, it's like they're saying it, and I think we'll finish this section on this note. You have to be careful what you wish for. You have to be careful what you wish for, because some wishes do come through, and not all wishes are good for you as well. It's someone's a very narrow-minded view of how they want to dominate a particular area of the world. But inshallah, we'll do a whole topic on this. And before we get too deep into this, let's move on to what we plan to do, because our guest has arrived.
I mean, should we close?
We'll close this section here, and then we'll set up for the next one.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Yogi, is that cool? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.